Welcome to this month's video. There's a new format I'm going to be doing on my channel, which is pretty much just all my astrophotography related adventures throughout the month. Just because there's a lot of failures and successes that happen throughout the month that sometimes I don't even film. So I'm going to try and pretty much capture and video all my adventures that I do through a whole month, and at the end of the month you'll see the whole month of my adventures that I do. If I'm going away, going up north, or just shooting moonrises from pretty much my garden. So just all the little adventures all in one video every month, which I think is quite a cool thing. So in this video we're capturing the moonrise, but as you can see it's a wee bit cloudy behind me, so hopefully it does break. There is a wee break in the clouds to the east where I'm shooting, so we'll hopefully get a nice wee moonrise to start off December month. Perfect. Okay, so as usual for my setup for moon photography, I'm using the Sigma 150-600 and my Sony A7S. Nothing new there, it's pretty much just my go-to setup all the time. I'm going to set up a time-lapse, so we'll get an intervalometer, set that up, and just pretty much hope these clouds break. I shall show you what the clouds look like just now. There we go, so there's my setup, and that is what my horizon looks like. The moon should rise just above this little hill here. So as you can see, it's clear, but it's not clear, so I just have to hope. But a time lapse would be cool. We'll see the clouds going past, and then hopefully the moon rising from the top of it up like that. So let's hope that works. So I planned this shoot with the app TPE Photographer's Ephemeris 3D, just like a Google map, like a street view Google Maps, but on your phone, and it shows you all the topography around the area, and it shows you where the moon rises and moon sets. So I set it up on that just to plan it, and it should rise at about 3:10. It's currently 3 o'clock. Hopefully it's dark enough on the horizon. Obviously you don't want it too bright because then you don't see the moon, but there's a decent amount of kind of shadow over in that area, just because we're in December now, so it does get dark pretty quickly. So I'm going to set a time lapse, literally take a picture every second, every 2 seconds, and we'll just get a nice time lapse of the clouds rolling by. The next few weeks is going to be pretty good in Scotland because we've got this load of north wind just coming in for the next week or so. So it's going to be really clear, but yeah, again, typical with Scotland, we get the clear skies and there's a huge big bright moon. So it'll be good for these sort of moonrises, but I won't be able to get under the stars shooting Orion and the deep sky objects. So it's just going to be, I think, a week of taking pictures of the moon. But it is damn nippy. There's going to be even a few days that it's not even going to get over freezing. So which is kind of rare for Scotland these days. I like it though, nice, it just means clear weather. So I can see the moon, but it's not worth taking a picture just yet. It's just a slither through the clouds, and I'm going to try a different thing for time lapse. I'm going to try a vertical time lapse. So they do better on social media, vertical things. You can use the footage on more platforms just because everything's on your phone these days. So I'm going to try and see how this turns out. You can just make out the moon. It's just coming out. Oh, I'm so thankful that it's actually working. This will be my first sort of vertical time lapse, and it looks absolutely beautiful. As you can see as well behind me, I'm getting stopped by a car. I don't know why they've pulled over here in the middle of the countryside. I think they're just watching me, so I don't care anymore. Oh, this is beautiful, but absolutely freezing. So what I'm doing for settings wise is shooting for the highlights for the moon, just because obviously the moon's really bright and foregrounds are really dark. You have to protect the highlights and hopefully regain the shadows in post-production, because you can up the shadows, up the exposure on the foreground, which will bring out the detail. But if you blow out the moon, you can't get that detail back, so you always have to kind of preserve the highlights, shoot for the moon, shoot for a very bright moon, and just pretty much bring up the rest of the image to suit the moon. The moon is the king of the shot, so you have to make the moon happy. The moon's just about out of frame. I think it's turned out really well. I can't wait to go home because it's absolutely Baltic. And yeah, if it turns out well, here's the final result. Okay, so it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to photograph the moon going across Mars, which is quite cool. It's called an occultation. I've never captured one of these before, so it'll be pretty cool. So I've just got my Sigma 150 to 600 that I'm just going to set up, zoom into the moon and hopefully video the moon going over the face of Mars, which would be really cool to capture. So it's due in about 10 minutes. The moon will be over Mars for about an hour, and then I'll come back out and capture the moon coming back out the other side. That'll be really cool to capture, won't it? All I need to do and find out is whether to shoot loads of pictures for a time lapse or shoot a video. I'm thinking video so you can see it in real time. Okay, so I've decided to just record a video, so I've took a few images and I can zoom right in and you can see the orange planet just behind the lunar disk, so it makes for a really cool image. So I'm just doing a good few minutes of video, and hopefully I'll just be able to speed it up a wee bit and you'll see the moon going over the planet, which will be really cool. I think it's pretty much due behind the planet any second now. I can just make it out on camera, and then I'll be back in another hour when it pops out the other side of the moon. Alright, so it's an hour later and I'm photographing it this time rather than shooting a video, just because I want to get a nice image of, like a line of Mars coming back from the lunar surface. So I'll zoom really close in, so I'll have a nice moon and then like kind of a time lapse of Mars coming out of it. I might be able to stitch it so it's like time lapse of Mars going behind the moon and then coming back outside the moon. So it'll be cool to get an image of the planet, both sides of the moon. The video will be cool to zoom into, but it's not going to be the greatest detail because it's a video. So if I take good raw files, I'll be able to zoom in, get a wee bit more detail in the shadows and stuff like that on the lunar surface, and get more detail and hopefully make a really cool image. Just start to see Mars now coming just behind the moon. Very small on this camera because it's only a 600mm, but I'll be able to crop in and hopefully get some good detail. It's just amazing to see. I've never seen something like that before. So that's pretty much all from tonight. I'm just going to let this finish its wee time lapse until it goes out of frame. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if I get good pictures or video, I'll pop them up and hopefully it turned out really well. Fantastic night. Okay, so I'm at a local loch right beside Dundee. Finally, we've got a nice wee winter wonderland in December, which is very rare for Scotland. I've never seen like a winter wonderland in December before. You only get like the odd few days if you're up the top of a mountain. So to get it at low levels is awesome. So it's, nice crisp snow, which is fantastic. All the trees are nicely frozen. It's like -3, -4 on the way up here. And the plan for this little shoot is to get a nice time lapse of a frozen lake, frozen loch, with nice frozen trees, nice snow in the foreground, and the moon should rise over the trees at the other side of the loch and cast its moonlight. So I think it'll be really nice. So it's going to look beautiful, you know, in a few hours here, all nice crispy white with moonlight. So it'll just be a nice time lapse, nice and dark for a wee bit, and then the moonlight comes and casts its light on the landscape. So that's the plan. That's really the only plan here. So the moon's just going to be, as I said, across this loch, and I'm going to start the time lapse in the next 5-10 minutes, just so I've got a bit of the darkness and then the moonlight. But yeah, as you can see, the loch's pretty frozen, so hopefully it stays clear for a good week, because the Geminids is up in a few days and hopefully I'll capture that too. Okay, so I'm just about to start the time lapse, and there is a bit of cloud roller in, but it's very high cloud, so it might add to the time lapse with light, you know, the moonlight on it. So I'm going to do 6 seconds, just because when that moon comes up it's going to be pretty bright. I can already see that moonlight on the clouds from the camera, so I better start shooting just about now. So that's the moon up now, it's just risen over the trees, and now we pretty much just wait for the time lapse to finish. Whilst we were waiting for the moon to rise, we went up the wee hill and we kind of focused into like trees with all the frost and the snow on them, and did a nice wee selfie in a winter wonderland in December, which is quite nice. So just playing about with the snow and ice, and yeah, just wait for this time lapse to go. But everything's fine. It is pretty cold, things are starting to freeze up. It is probably about -4 or something, but I mean, if we're running about it doesn't really feel like it. Yeah, just have to wait now. Just a nice night under the moonlight. So that's the moon risen quite nicely in the sky. We're just going to wait for it to get a wee bit higher, and hopefully the time lapse looks really nice. It's beautiful in the moonlight, lovely frost and snow everywhere. It's just an absolute beautiful night. So yeah, if the time lapse turns out really nice, here it is. Right, I'm sure you can see me. It's very cold. It's like -6, -7, which is quite unusual for December. And it's the Geminids meteor shower, which is awesome. So I've seen 3 already. I've only been here for like 2 minutes, just setting up. So I'm going to shoot east into where the moon's going to rise, and just with the nice, you know, colours of the frost lately, it'll be cool just to see the moon rise and all the light from the moon. Just like on the other time lapse, just want to get the moonlight casting its light over the snowy landscape, and hopefully we get a few meteors in it as well. So I'll set this time lapse up now because the moon's going to rise in 2 minutes, well 10 minutes, and then I'm just going to play about and hopefully try and get some meteors live on camera really. And also it's the World Cup semi-final, so I'm going to sit in the car, which is right there, and watch that. Just because it's so cold, I didn't want to go too far, so I'm just staying close to Skun. Literally just going to use the settings that I used the other night. So I'm going to do 6 seconds, ISO 1000, and pretty much just letting it run for as long as it needs to. So I'm literally just going to wrap these arm warmers around the lens and start shooting, just because it is that cold. So yeah, I'm just gonna chill now for a bit, set up a time lapse, and now I can just watch the meteor shower. That's the really good thing about meteor showers. You can pretty much just set up a time lapse and then just watch it. It's the best sort of thing. It's near like Cooper Angus just now. I didn't want to go too far just because it is very cold and the roads can be pretty dangerous. Oh, look at that! Hey, did we see that? Oh, please, someone saw that. Whoa. Okay, so an update what's going on. Absolutely fantastic meteor shower so far. So much activity. I did a live on Facebook and I got 8 meteors on camera. I've just finished the time lapse of the moon rising. Hopefully I got a few meteors on that. So I'll put that up, hopefully that's alright. Now I've switched to facing Orion because Orion seems to be really active, just that area of the night sky. Most of the meteors that I've seen this... Whoa! Holy that was... This is an unbelievable night. But yeah, shooting this way just now, and hopefully I capture some meteors, some of these meteors on camera, and make a really nice image of all the meteors in this landscape. It's pretty cold, but I'm running about, so I'm not really feeling it. Everything's crispy and everything's white. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so what I am noticing is, obviously, to be honest, it's kind of well known. The moon's obviously rising up, so it's getting really bright, and still seeing loads and loads of meteors, but they are getting fainter and fainter. Yeah, before you could properly see the structure of it, and now it's just like a very quick meteor. So most of the meteors now that I'm seeing are just pretty faint and just really thin. So they might not work, they might not get picked up too much on camera now, but yeah, that's what we expected. That's why I kind of came out early before it got too bright. So yeah, I think I'll call it a night soon, just because the moon... Whoa! Oh no! Wow, that was a good wee fireball there, and my time lapse was like resetting the pictures. It was in between pictures. Yeah, bugger. Oh. Well, hopefully I've captured a few anyway. Okay, so I think I'm going to end it there. I think I might have got a few. I definitely got one good one. Meteors behind me as I was walking about. That's all pretty much. That's really what I wanted to capture tonight because we had really good moonlight. So yeah, pretty much. I'll put everything up, put the time lapses up, put the footage up, and hopefully it's really good. So yeah, fantastic night. Might be out again tomorrow because it's supposed to be clear, and we've still got more Geminids tomorrow, so probably tomorrow as well I'll be out. Okay, so it's the next day, still the peak of the Geminids. Yet last night was absolutely phenomenal, as you saw the footage, captured loads on camera. So I'm going to try it again. I'm just at I don't know, like 2 miles away from Scone, just a country road, and there's like these pylons in a straight line all the way to the horizon, and luckily it will match up perfectly with the moonrise. So I've seen this location and I thought that would be quite cool for pictures. So what better night to try it than this. So I'm going to capture the moonrise yet again, which will rise away in the east, and it'll just line up perfectly with these kind of pylons. You'll see it in the footage. But really wide open view. You can see 360 degrees almost. There's a big tree there. But perfect for the Geminids as well, because there's still loads of Geminids. I've just seen, there's loads. Constantly seeing them. Definitely around Orion seems to be really good. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because I'm looking there and that's where I'm seeing them. But it's still a really good active meteor shower. I'm so glad that we've had clear skies throughout this. So yeah, I'm just going to set up a time lapse now, because the moon's due in about 10 minutes. So as you can see, I've got a nice new hat, nice big Arctic hat, which is quite really cosy. I always just want to feel as comfortable as possible whilst under the sky, so I don't have to go home early. So this is a really good addition, trust me. So I'm just going to go for the same settings that I did yesterday, which was 6 seconds, ISO. I'm going to go up a tiny wee bit, ISO 1200, just because the moon's just that wee bit thinner, and I just want a wee bit more detail in the foreground. So ISO 1200, 6 seconds, f 1.8. Cool, so that's the time lapse going, and now I can just watch the meteor shower just on my own, which is awesome. It's a good thing about having a time lapse. I can just do it, that's taking all the pictures I need, and now I can just enjoy the night myself. It's not too cold, it's getting a wee bit warmer. It's about 0 degrees now, so it is getting a wee bit warmer. And that's pretty much it from this month of December. It's been an absolute fantastic month with a lovely cold spell, really good meteor shower activity. Unfortunately, I didn't get too much meteors on this pylon night, the second night on camera, but the first night really made up for it. So very happy with the month. And now I'm just looking forward to next year to see what it brings. Thanks for watching. Cheers.